Welcome to Deep Thought, when several problems hit at once. And you know what? Everybody's gone through this. Like when, as they say, when it rains, it pours. And everybody's had that situation where you had several things that hit you at once. Now, I mentioned on my other channels about my car. I was like, I'm going to have to get another car. I mean, it still run, but you can, I'm just going to be very limited until I take it to the car lot or, trade it in, right? But sometimes everything hit at one time, because in addition to the car, there's several other things I ain't going to get into that hit at the same time. I was like, oh, man, it hits you. It could be tough because... whether it's an emotional thing, that's hitting you emotionally, or just an inconvenience thing, or, it could be a money thing, like you get the problems, but you can't really solve it with money real quick, or you got to figure out something. It still hits. It's like, oh man, everything hit, and it's tough. Shoot, if one problem hits, that can be tough. So when you get several at one time, it's like, boom. And it's tough because your emotions going to be in there depending on the situation. You try it if you're more of a rational, logical thinker, your mind immediately goes into, how can I solve this? How can I solve this? And even if you, you probably got the means, you still got to think through it. It's like, man, and, it's so many factors, right? It's so many factors. You know what you do? First, find what you do to relax. Seriously, find what you do to relax. If it's smoking certain substances, if that's what you do, or maybe getting some tea, or I don't know, maybe eating something if it's not too much of an addiction and cause a problem, whatever. Going for a walk, meditating, sitting back watching a dumb TV show, whatever. Because unless the problem is something that you got to solve right that second, it's still going to be there. Like most problems are stuff that you got time to work on most of them. Like I say, and I've said this before, if you get that thing that just hits you, just right then and there, oh yeah, of course you got to solve that right away. You can't sit around and wait for it. But other than that, and even then, you need to do what I'm about to say. Breathe. And I know I did a podcast on this before, but just and y'all know I'm always going on tangents and stream of consciousness on here. Stuff can come up, and one of the things I've done in the past, and just to let you know, depending on the channel, if it's a specific issue, I'll address it as I'm going through it. As I said, I'm still growing. I'm not a guru on top of the mountain. I'm still climbing that mountain too. And before I had said maybe I'm a little bit ahead of you, I'm helping. Shoot, sometimes we might be climbing together. Sometimes I might be trying to catch up with you. He's like, they up there? Oh, let me get up there too. But whatever the case, I wanted to bring that up because then, everything I'm talking, I'm like, oh, wow, because I'm very big on my car, right? And that was the first thing. And then the other things were stuff I'm not getting into are very important to me, I'll just say it dealt with some issues dealing with loved ones. Sit back, breathe, relax, breathe in and out. Be aware of how your body feels at that moment. Because a lot of times, we get stressed. A lot of sickness comes from stress more so than the actual sick thing. Our body gets tense. We get upset. We might feel something in our gut. We might not be able to stand or something. We might lose our appetite. anything. But all of that is related to stress. So you want to just sit back, find a comfortable seat, lay down if you can, and then for at least a little bit, get the problem out of your mind. Now, it's tough. Like I said, it's tough, especially if it's an emergency. You got to solve it right there. You got to take action right there. Oh, yeah, that. But everything else, I'm like, okay, like with my car. It's all right sitting where it is. It is all right sitting right where it is. It's like, okay, I could take my time fixing this. Or getting another one. Well, not take my time, but, I don't have to fix it right this second. Or take care of it right this second. As long as I get it done, though. So, you hear some, I'll say, negative news from people close to you. They going through something, so you worried about that. Unless it's an emergency, it's like, oh, I don't have to do it. So you go back, you find something, find something to relax. One thing I'll do, I'll just sit there and just be nice and calm. Try to empty your mind of it, because just even thinking about the issue does something. Now, does this mean you just totally forget it? No. And, it don't have to be you stop, you just stop thinking about it for a few hours unless you really that advanced. Sit down, meditate, whatever, or occupy you something else, but keep the thing off your mind. Keep it. Just sit there and just relax it. Feel all the tension in your body. Relax that tension. If you're feeling like tension in your shoulders or something, roll your shoulders. If you have a mate or somebody right there, have them massage your neck if that's where the tension is. Maybe you need to walk it off. Do a relaxing walk. Get some music. Put some soothing music in the background, and just clear your mind. You don't want to think about the problem at all, because the problem going to still be there. But you want to relax yourself, because that's where the people get hurt at, when you start worrying about stuff. Now, see, understand something. I don't care what the problem is. If it's a mechanical thing, it's solvable. The emotional thing is solvable. Every single problem is solvable. Every single one. There's nothing. Look, if okay, use the car example again. That's obviously solvable. So it's like, okay, I don't need to worry about it right this second. I just had to take care of some things to solve the issue. But, for at least a half an hour, at least, maybe an hour, I'm going to empty my mind of it. Now, the other stuff, when it's more close and emotional, you can still sit back and say, okay, does this have to be solved right this second? If it don't, you sit back and you just breathe. You breathe. You relax every part of your body. You relax that stress. And you just let it flow through you. You just let the calm energy flow through you. Put on some music. Put on some incense. Frankincense and myrrh is good for it, but anything. Light a candle. Whatever. Just have that space. Turn off your phone. If you can, turn off your phone. Like I said, sometimes if it's a real emergency, you might have to keep it on. But even then, if you have to wait for a call or something, you still keep it on. It ain't going to be ringing every 5 seconds. Or, try to relax until it does ring again. And you sit back. You calm. Be nice and peaceful. Feel the good thing. You feeling all of that? Regardless of what it is. I remember one time, this was when I was played in an intramural football game. Lost to this team I had wanted to beat for a year. I wanted to beat this team for a year. We lost to them in the game, right? The next day, because I was still living at my grandmother's. I went out in the backyard, was raking the leaves and everything just to calm down. That's how much I felt it. Because you can also do the same relaxing after a bad thing happened. Right? So I did all that. So it's important to do that. Calm down. Relax. Be peaceful. I got more to say on these problems tomorrow. Talk to y'all later. Peace and many blessings.